You walk into a room and nobody approaches you. And the mistake everyone makes is assuming that means something about them. That you're boring, awkward, not confident enough, not attractive enough. None of that is usually true. People don't approach you for one reason that's much harder to accept, because on some level, you're waiting for permission to be there. And the moment someone senses that, they don't move closer. They pull back. Not out of judgment, out of instinct. This video isn't about confidence. It's about the invisible moment where you hand your presence away, and how everything changes when you stop. If you understand this shift, you'll never misread silence, hesitation, or missed chances the same way again. Being approached is not a reward for being impressive. It's a response to how settled you are. People don't initiate because they've analyzed you and decided you're worth it. They do it because something about you feels open, without asking for anything. Most people walk into rooms already negotiating their existence. Where should I stand? Who should I talk to? Do I belong here? That uncertainty turns into tension, and tension quietly tells everyone else, don't come closer. Here's the part almost nobody sees. The moment you decide not to engage with the moment, you've already decided the outcome. Not because something bad will happen, but because nothing can. Waiting feels safe, but it's not neutral. Waiting is a position, and it tells the room you're not available yet. This applies everywhere, not just dating or parties, at work, in groups, in meetings, anywhere attention or connection could exist. And it becomes hardest exactly where it matters most. When attraction is involved, when approval feels important, when you want something from someone specific. That's when people disappear the most. Here's the shift most people never make. From waiting for something to happen, to participating in what's already happening. Participation doesn't mean forcing yourself to talk. It doesn't mean approaching someone specific. It means choosing to be involved in the moment. Sometimes that's as simple as acknowledging what's actually going on, not with a performance, just an honest entry point. I'm usually the quiet one in groups like this. Is this the part where everyone already knows each other? This feels like one of those conversations you join halfway in. You're not targeting anyone. You're not fishing for approval. You're just present with what's real. And that changes everything. Because the moment you stop waiting, you become someone others can connect with. Not because you did something impressive, because you were simply there. Here's why this works. When you're settled, you're not asking the room to give you something. You're not trying to take attention. You're not managing impressions, and that signals safety. Ease tells people nothing is being demanded of you. And safety is what draws people in. Think about the moments before a meeting starts. People are in the room, but almost no one is actually there. Some are scrolling, some are rehearsing what they might say. The ones who attract attention don't do more. They do less, but they're settled. They're not scanning the room for approval. They're not trying to look busy or important. They're simply present. When someone walks in, they don't rush to create relevance. Sometimes it's nothing more than a calm glance, a reaction that fits the moment. That's what people respond to. Not initiative. Ease. Most people think the risk is being rejected. It's not. The real risk is deciding in advance that nothing interesting will happen. Because once you do that, you stop winning moments, moments of exchange, moments of recognition. And yes, sometimes moments with someone you're drawn to. But those moments don't happen because you targeted them. They happen because you were already alive in the situation. There's one more layer most people never consider. Waiting doesn't just affect how others experience you, it changes how you experience yourself. Every moment you hold back, your nervous system learns something. That it's safer to observe than to participate. That staying on the edge is normal. Over time, that becomes an identity. I'm just not someone people approach. I'm better once I know where I stand. But that story didn't come from the room itself. It came from repetition, and the only thing that interrupts it isn't confidence, isn't boldness, but choosing presence before certainty. This becomes hardest when you've already built someone up in your head. Maybe it's someone you're attracted to. Maybe it's someone whose attention would change everything for you. Suddenly the room feels smaller, not because of them, because of what you want from them. When they don't make the first move, the instinct is to read meaning into it. Rejection, disinterest. But most of the time, none of that is happening. What's actually happening is simpler and more uncomfortable. You're negotiating an outcome in your head, and people feel that. Not as desire, as pressure. The moment someone becomes important before anything has happened, your openness collapses into focus. That's why waiting for a specific person to approach you often backfires. Not because you wanted too much, but because you stopped participating everywhere else. You became unavailable to the room, and the person you wanted, they felt that too. Some people respond to this tension by doing the opposite. They overpiece, they smooth everything out, they agree too quickly, they laugh at jokes that aren't funny. They never push back, never create any friction. Not because they're weak, because they're trying to keep the moment safe. Overpiecing looks polite, but it doesn't feel open. The more you try to keep everything pleasant, the less space there is for something real to happen. Connection needs freedom, not force, not management. A better way to think about this isn't making a move, not revealing intention. It's offering a slice of the moment. One real reaction, one honest comment, complete on its own. And here's something most people miss. Many people in the room are standing at that same edge. Sometimes being present simply means naming the moment. This feels a bit uncomfortable right now. Or maybe it's just me. That's not a move. That's you stepping into the moment instead of waiting outside it. Not rehearsed, not targeted, just real. Most people don't decide all at once, they sample. If it feels safe, they stay. If it feels easy, they come back for more. Trust doesn't grow because you revealed your intention. It grows because each moment made sense on its own. Here's the part most people avoid. Nothing changes because other people finally move. Everything changes the moment you stop waiting for them to. That's where responsibility returns to you. Not for the outcome, but for your presence. Being approached isn't about being the most interesting person in the room. It's about being the least tense. It's about walking in settled, not waiting. Participating, not performing. Offering moments, not demanding outcomes. And yes, sometimes someone won't approach. Not because you failed, but because they weren't meant to. That acceptance is part of being settled too. The people who get approached everywhere aren't doing more. They're carrying less expectation, less need, less fear about what might not happen. And that space, that lightness, is what draws people in. You don't make people approach you by being more interesting. You make it happen by being more available. Not desperate, not performing. Just present with what's real. The question isn't whether someone will make the first move. It's whether you've stopped waiting long enough to let anything happen at all.